Hey, have you ever found yourself daydreaming about having a superpower? Maybe flying over cities, turning invisible, or lifting cars with just a flick of your wrist. Sounds awesome, right? But here's a fun twist. What if everyone had superpowers? Not just superheroes in movies, but literally every single person on Earth. What would that even look like? Let's take a few minutes to imagine this wild idea together. Picture it. One morning, you wake up and suddenly your neighbor can read minds. Kids are teleporting to school, and someone who tripped on the street is healing their wounds instantly. Cool? Absolutely. But here's the thing, when everyone's special, does it really feel all that special anymore? You know how things that are rare always feel more valuable? Well, if everyone could fly, for example, the sky would probably look like rush hour traffic. Imagine mid-air collisions and traffic lights in the clouds. It's kind of funny, but also kind of terrifying. Or think about this. If we could all read each other's minds, would privacy even exist anymore? Would relationships survive? I mean, how would you feel if you couldn't keep a single thought to yourself? Sure, you'd know who's lying, but would you trust anyone? Or would paranoia take over? And here's the real kicker. Just because someone has powers doesn't mean they'll use them responsibly. Let's be honest. Humans are, well, human. Some people might save the day, but others, they'd probably find ways to make things worse. Imagine a fight breaking out on the street, and instead of fists, people are throwing fireballs. Who's the hero? Who's the villain? It's all kind of blurry when everyone's got the same tools. Imagine this. You wake up in a world where everyone has superpowers. It's 7:00 a.m., but your alarm doesn't go off because you've decided to use your ability to control time and sleep in a little longer. Suddenly, you hear your neighbor yelling from the next apartment. Why? Because they're reading your mind and complaining about how grumpy you are in the mornings. Another ordinary day begins, but it's nothing like the ordinary days we know. You sit down for breakfast, and as you pour yourself a glass of water, the cup suddenly floats into your hand. I still need to practice my telekinesis, you think to yourself. Maybe you've been using your powers a bit too much for daily chores, but who wouldn't? Then it's time to get to work. Are you the type to fly, or would you rather teleport? If you choose flying, imagine navigating the skies with dozens of other people zipping through the air. The sky has become a highway, crowded with people rushing to their destinations. Some are graceful, while others clumsily bump into each other. Believe it or not, there are even traffic lights up in the clouds. When you finally arrive at work, things get more complicated. No one can lie anymore. Your boss asks you for a report, and instead of saying, "It's almost done, I'll finish it by the end of the day," you're forced to admit the truth. Why? Because mind reading has become a standard ability. Everything is crystal clear, but maybe a little too transparent. Now, close your eyes and imagine living an entire day in such a world. When you wake up, you don't just watch the sunrise through your window. You fly up to meet it. Walking among the clouds feels peaceful, almost magical, but also a little terrifying. When it's time to do your grocery shopping, you don't bother walking or driving. You simply freeze time. The world stands still as you zip through the aisles, grabbing everything you need. But once people realize what you've done, they might judge you. Seriously? They're using their powers for grocery shopping? Because in a world like this, everyone is constantly evaluating each other. Later in the day, you decide to meet up with friends. But here's the catch. One of them might have invisibility powers and could be spying on you without you even knowing. This changes the dynamics of relationships entirely. Trust becomes a rare commodity, and while you admire everyone's abilities, you can't help but wonder if they're using them against you. As the day goes on, you find yourself in a situation where you need to help someone. Perhaps a building is collapsing, and you rush in to save the day with your super speed. It feels amazing to help people. But then, someone else with powers might show up and say, "You're too late. I could have done this faster." Even superheroes can't escape competition. By evening, the sky is lit up, not with stars, but with people showing off their glowing abilities, turning it into a fireworks display. You find a quiet place to sit, craving peace. Superpowers are incredible, sure, but deep down, you wish for just one normal moment. In a superpowered world, nothing is predictable. As you walk down the street, you see a young child lifting a car to save their trapped dog. People cheer and applaud, but just moments later, another person accidentally sets a tree on fire while trying to practice their laser vision. Firefighters with water manipulation abilities rush to the scene. Every corner you turn holds a new spectacle, but the unpredictability of it all keeps you on edge. Then there are the power malfunctions. Imagine someone trying to teleport to work but accidentally ending up in the middle of your living room, or a friend trying to control the weather for a sunny picnic but accidentally causing a rainstorm that floods the neighborhood. In this world, even small mistakes can have massive consequences. As the day goes on, you start noticing a trend. Many people aren't just using their powers, they're flaunting them. In the park, someone is juggling cars instead of balls. Another person is creating elaborate ice sculptures with a flick of their wrist. It's entertaining, sure, but you can't help but feel like the line between heroism and showing off is starting to blur. And what about those who don't have flashy abilities? The ones whose powers are more subtle, like enhancing their memory or communicating with animals. In a world obsessed with spectacle, these quieter abilities often go unnoticed. You start to wonder, is it better to have a simple power that makes life easier or a grand power that draws attention? By mid-afternoon, you find yourself in a high-stakes situation. A building is collapsing and people are trapped inside. Your natural instinct is to help. Using your super speed, you rush in and start carrying people to safety. It feels incredible to make a difference, to be a true hero. But as soon as the danger is over, someone approaches you. Why didn't you act faster? I could have done this better. Suddenly, your good deed feels overshadowed. In a world where everyone has powers, even acts of heroism are met with criticism. The pressure to be perfect, to use your abilities flawlessly, is exhausting. You realize that having powers doesn't just give you responsibility, it gives you expectations. And sometimes, meeting those expectations is harder than saving the day. As evening falls, the darker side of this world begins to reveal itself. You hear a commotion in the distance. A bank robbery is underway. The thieves aren't ordinary criminals. They're using their powers to bypass security systems and escape unnoticed. You think about intervening but hesitate. What if their powers are stronger than yours? What if you make things worse? In this world, the lines between good and evil are blurrier than ever. Some people use their powers for selfless reasons, while others exploit them for personal gain. But the scariest part is the unpredictability. How can you trust someone when their abilities could turn against you at any moment? As night approaches, you head to the rooftop of your building for some peace and quiet. The sky is alive with people showing off their glowing abilities, turning the night into a dazzling light show. It's beautiful, but it also makes you feel small. You think back to the simpler times before powers existed. Back then, human connection, kindness, and empathy were the things that truly made a difference. You wonder if this world has lost sight of those values. But then something catches your eye. A young girl is sitting nearby, creating tiny, glowing orbs with her hands. She's not trying to impress anyone. She's just enjoying the beauty of her own power. It reminds you that even in a chaotic world, there's still room for small, meaningful moments. As you lay in bed that night, you can't help but wonder, is this world truly better? Sure, superpowers make life exciting and full of possibilities, but they also bring chaos, competition, and an overwhelming sense of responsibility. Maybe the real superpower isn't flying or teleportation or controlling time. Maybe it's the ability to embrace our flaws, to find strength in our limits, and to connect with each other on a human level. So, what would you do if you had a superpower? Would you use it for good, for fun, or simply to make your own life easier? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just be yourself. So, what would your superpower be? Flying, invisibility, or something completely different? How would you use your superpower? Would you make the world a better place, or simply make your own life more fun? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications for more content like this.